Hey y'all, welcome to the newest reading of Chapter 15 from my upcoming YA sci-fi thriller, Chasing the Unseen. This is a reading from the Zero Draft, so there will be changes to the final version of the book when I put it on sale. This is Chapter 15, Ursula and Lucinda. This is Kiera Sutton's POV. I walked back into the room of the court, as I learned it was called. The walk was brief, but I was filled with anxiety. Then suddenly, I could hear my mother's voice. "Show no fear. You are their queen." Her voice felt solid, as if she was standing next to me. Grandfather and I walked together, followed by Lucas and then Robin. "All hail the Queen Sovereign," was the chant. A wave of nervousness washed over me. It surprised me, though, that they did not greet my grandfather the same way. But I was still navigating these intricate web of formalities. I did not bow as I had been instructed to never do so. I walked up the stairs to the throne and stood in front of it. They all looked at me expectantly, as if they wanted a speech. And we all know how great I am at speeches, but I took a deep breath and began. "Good day, good people of Azura. I am pleased to be home. This has been a peaceful journey for me, and while I appreciate your warm welcome, I come with a heavy heart." What on earth was that, I thought. I've never sounded so eloquent in my life. "How may we assist you?" my grandfather asked, as if he didn't already know. We might have practiced a little bit in his study. "Well, my sister was on a mission and has gone missing. I want to have a recovery team organized to find her and bring her back." I took a deep breath to continue, but someone interrupted me. "Queen Keerana, that is not our way. Your sister understood the risk associated with her mission." The woman was elegantly dressed. She had long flowing black hair and the palest of skin. A smile rested on her smug face, but it didn't reach her eyes. This must be Lucas's Aunt Ursula. "Lady Ursula, I haven't finished speaking, and I'm not asking for permission." The crowd quieted. Lucas stepped forward and bowed to me and said, "Since this doesn't involve the entire court, perhaps we should move to the side chamber and wait for my mother's arrival." "Yes, I agree. Lady Lucinda's input on the rescue mission will help me." I smiled at Lucas. Whispers erupted among the crowd, and that was when I heard the murmuring start. Has she chosen? Did she choose him? Is Lucas Blackwood her chosen? I instinctively stepped a few paces ahead of my grandfather and sat at the head of the table once we entered the room. I've never liked long, rectangular tables like this one. All the tables at home were either small square ones or those really big round ones like we had in our dining room, which was my favorite. For a moment, I recalled when I was a little kid pretending to be at King Arthur's round table, discussing essential matters for the king. I smiled at the memory. "My queen, I did not mean to interrupt you. I truly thought you had finished speaking," Ursula said with a bowed head. As I contemplated how to respond to her, my mother's voice echoed. Call her by her name without a title. It will remind her that a queen granted her the title, and a queen can take it away. "Ursula, my issue isn't with that, but with you assuming to know my family better than I do. You spoke as if my sister were disposable. That is what I take issue with, if you must know." As I spoke, another woman entered the room, and I had no doubt who she was. She had the same blue, brilliant eyes as him. It was definitely Lucas's mom, Lucinda. "My queen, I apologize for my lateness, but I come bearing a report from your sister." "Of course, thank you. There's no need for formality between us, Lady Lucinda. Your son has been a wonderful friend and a great help to me." My statement pleased some and shocked others. Thank you, Lady Keerana. Your sister's made contact. She's in the homeworld of the Vespertilians, and they are still trying to track the terrorist group. She's been tracking them for some time. So she's okay then? I asked as my voice slipped from mighty queen to worried little sister. Yes, she's hiding with Zirin. Why would an Azurian have an ally like a bloodsucker? Ursula spat. And the way she said ally, it was evident she was disgusted with my sister and her relationship with Zirin. But Lucinda defended. Not all Azurians are good, just like not all Vespers are bad. Are we sure she hasn't fallen for his charms? You know how they can be, Ursula smirked. That doesn't matter. When Kelsey has a job, that's all she focuses on. She's results driven. She has been our entire lives, I assured them. Lucinda, I'm asking for your counsel and your advice. How should I proceed? Well, a small party could infiltrate the system, help her complete her mission and bring her home, she suggested. Ursula, we can't ask our people to do that. She's just one person. It's too dangerous. I'll volunteer. I'll go, I said, looking at my grandfather, who nodded in approval. Where my queen goes, so will I, Lucas said. Me too, Robin chimed in. Of course, I will be accompanying you, Lucinda said, just before a striking man entered the room and declared, as will I. He was Lucas's father, and more importantly, the man who held me when I was 3 years old, when I tumbled through my first spinner on the day my mother died. You, I remember you, I whispered as I rose. And I remember you, my queen, although you're much taller than I recall, he chuckled. Thank you for that day. I've already mentioned it to your wife, but your son, Lucas, has been a tremendous help to me. I owe a great debt to the Blackwood family. Thank you. My voice sounded so regal again that I could hardly register it was me speaking. It was all to protect our great world and beloved queen, he answered. When can we start planning to retrieve Kelsey? I asked, struggling to control my emotions. I was genuinely grateful for the Lockwoods, well, one branch of the family. I understand that this is what you deem to be the best course of action, but I will not be volunteering to go, Ursula said snidely. I assumed as much. Your presence is no longer needed. Have a good day. I dismissed her from the room. I waited a beat before I said, Grandfather, if you would allow me to use your study, I would like to speak privately with you, Robin, and the remaining members of the Lockwood family, please. Of course. He smiled approvingly at me. Once inside my grandfather's quiet study, I collapsed onto the couch. I looked at Lucas and said, Well, that was intense. Does anybody know why I can hear my mom's voice in my head giving me instructions? Oh, yeah, we thought that might happen, Robin said, before my grandfather went and answered the question. Your mother embedded those memories, those informations, like downloads into your memory. Your grandmother did the same thing with her when she was a child. It's how information is passed down from generation to generation, my grandfather explained. So the information will come to me in pieces, I asked. Yes, as you need it. Why not all at once, I asked. To avoid overwhelming you, my grandfather replied, sitting beside me and pulling me into a hug. Everything is going to be all right. So, everyone, there's no need for formality here or any time we're together, for that matter, I smiled. Good. That lady and my queen stuff was silly, Robin grinned. Be careful or I just might reinstate it for you. I laughed before turning to Lucinda and seriously asking, when do we start planning to get my sister off that planet? I asked as Tabby burst into the room. Daddy, I'm so sorry for bursting into your room, and my lords and ladies, you too, but I need Kiera. Her eyes were filled with tears as she looked at me. Your father's in the hospital. What happened? I ran to Tabby and hugged her tightly. He was determined to fix the collapsed dock, and he was in the water. He was making repairs. It's nighttime. Why was he in the water? Time works differently here. It's already morning back on Earth, and I was on the opposite dock, and when he was working, and he called out to me, and I turned to see him going down into the water. I pulled him out, but reviving him took me a while, and he what? The doctor said he had a heart attack-like event, whatever that means. I think he's in a coma. He wouldn't wake up. They have no idea what's going on. Nobody really understood anything before I left. They think it could be his stress and his body just couldn't take it anymore. In my time of crisis, I looked to Lucas. Lucas, I need to get to my dad. Help me. He rose and took my hands into his and said, everything will be fine. I will get you back to your dad. Let's go. All right, guys, that's the end of that chapter. More to come. Hang on. It's about to get really, really super good.